Tell us about your early life, Fryda.
Well, my name is Fryda Grynberg, and I was born in 1920 in December. I was the oldest child in a family of 5. We lived in a small town in Poland called Kosaki. My father was a bootmaker. Life for us was very hard. When I reached the age of 14, I had to leave school and go to work in Bialystock, 50 kilometers away, leaving my family behind.
Had you ever been away from home before?
I never been away, and that was for me very tragic. I couldn't sleep nights. I worried about my family. I missed everyone because it was a close sort of town in Poland, only 150 families. So I missed everyone. I was married in 1938 at the age of 18. By the time the war broke out in 1939, I already had a baby daughter. Bialystock was located in eastern part of Poland, occupied by Russia. We heard rumors of cruel and barbaric acts in the German-occupied western part, but had no way of confirming them. When the Germans invaded Bialystock in 1941, all Jews were forced into a ghetto. This was located in an old part of the city. It was surrounded by a wall. Movement in and out of the ghetto was possible only through a single gate, which was controlled by the German guards. Only certain workers were allowed out, and I had to go to specific factories each day. All Jews were required to wear Star of David on the clothing to identify them readily. No food was provided by the Germans. The Ghetto Council of Judenrat used as emigre funds to purchase food for its distribution to the ghetto population. Most people survived by using money, valuables they had brought with them into the ghetto, to buy food that had been smuggled in. However, there was far too little food to go around. Hunger became a way of life. There was no newspapers or radios. I soon lost track of time as one season blended into the next.
Did you see your family again?
I never saw my family, but sometimes in 1942 my sister turned up into the ghetto. She told me that the rest of my family been killed. Afterward, she returned to Kosaki, and I never saw her again.
When did the Germans return?
Early in 1943, the Germans began clearing out Bialystock ghetto. They would come to the Ghetto Council and demanded that a certain number of Jews for transportation. If the quotas were not met, they would seize the people from the streets at random. We learned to stay hidden whenever these roundups were taking place. The people who went to these transports, I never saw them again. The clothing would turn up outside the ghetto from time to time, being worn by non-Jews. People who were allowed out of the ghetto during the day would often comment after seeing a familiar article of clothing that had belonged to a family member or a friend. My husband and I were finally caught in one of the roundups, together with a baby daughter. We were jammed into a cattle wagon and transported westwards. We had to stand up all the time.